is Anis Zulaika binti Muhammad Syukri, and I from Group 3. We will present about sustainable fisheries management by using bioeconomic modelling in Terengganu. The fishing industry in Malaysia has grown rapidly due to the development of fishing shipping technology. This is proven by the number of landing of the country's fisheries product that increased dramatically. The increase in the number of landing is due to the increase in the number of fishing boats and more sophisticated fishing equipment such as drones, as well as the increase in the number of fishermen. However, the use of the tool that do not follow the established regulation causes many serious problems that can have a negative impact on the future of the country's fisheries. Therefore, to overcome the problem, fisheries management is carried out separately from development planning, and a quantitative approach that captures the interaction between ocean activity, ecosystem, and human well-being.
Highlights of previous studies are very important for researchers who want to do a study. Through the previous study, researchers were able to obtain complete information about research related to sustainable fishery management by using bioeconomics modeling in Terengganu. Let's look at fishery at the global level. Commercial fishing involves deep sea fishing and large-scale fishing with the help of troll. According to a study by Rowe and Siones, they used the time series method to evaluate the effect of commercial fishing at a relatively high level of aggregation. Siones considered the long-term employment impact of the seafood processing industry, focused on 2 Alaskan communities that depend on fishing. There is also fisher research conducted in Terengganu to investigate and assess marine fish stock because they have been changed in the marine population in the ocean. For fish stock assessment and ecosystem modeling, it is important to research the feeding behavior of fish. For example, the EcoPath 2 ecosystem model, Christensen and Potty, and the multi-species virtual population analysis method SPARES both require knowledge of fish food composition. Predation pressure has a major impact on population evolution as well as the composition and operation of almost all marine communities and ecosystems.
To bioeconomic modeling in fisheries management, few studies examine how bioeconomic modeling can influence decision making, despite that the fact intercooperation economic into catchment counseling has been recognized as a foundation for building more successful management. Each structure bioeconomic models and a new fisheries economic literature that use more sophisticated population dynamics have helped bridge the gap between academic and government research. Not only that, this model can incorporate socio-economic into catch recommendation, which is important to creating more successful fisheries management. Therefore, it is impossible to develop economically informed HCR using increasingly complicated bioeconomic models. It is still debated how HCR used in multi-annual management plan can be defined through bioeconomic modeling optimization, even though that literature has contributed to the discussion on the integration of economic into fisheries management by defining annual costs or examining the effect of alternative policy scenario.
Now, I will explain about the part of descriptive. Descriptive is the statistic, which is to analyze data by the frequency and using the measure of standard tendency, MCT, which is mean, mode, and median. All of this can be shown as the position of the bar of histogram, whether it is positive, negative, or neutral. Besides that, measure of spread such as standard deviation, standard error, maximum and minimum also show in using this data method of analysis. First, the mean is the average of the observed value in the table data. For the second is the mode. The mode is the value that has the highest frequency in the data table. For the third is median. The median is the number value that separate an ordered sample of data into two equal parts. For the next point is standard deviation. Standard deviation is a common measurement of statistical dispersion, measuring how wide the value in the data set are. If most data points are close to the mean, then the standard deviation is small. Meanwhile, if many data points have large difference with the mean, then the standard deviation is large. Standard error is the point of find. Standard error of the statistic that usually an estimate of parameter is the standard deviation of its sampling distribution or an estimate of that standard deviation. So the last point is maximum and minimum. Maximum value, which is the largest value in the data or in the part of independent variable, while the minimum value, which is the lowest value of the data used or in the part of independent variable.
My name is Muhammad Kadir Azmi, so I will explain about the second method of analysis we use in this study. The method we use is ordinal least square regression, which is common technique for the estimation the coefficient of linear regression equation that describe the relation between one or more independent and dependent variables. Therefore, this study used multiple regression analysis to see the relation between fishing effort and fishing effort square can affect the sum of catching fish or not. Variable data collected and formed using a multiple linear regression model required a calculation based on the following estimation formula: ordinary square regression for looking the value of coefficient determination of beta 0, beta 1 and beta 2. From the value of the coefficient determination and the adjusted coefficient of determination, we can include the dependent variable, which how much fishing effort and fishing effort square affect the sum of catching fish.
In the fishery model, we have the three ways shown from the curve. First is maximum sustainable yield, second is maximum economic yield, and third is open access fisheries. Maximum sustainable yield describes the highest annual catch that can be maintained over time. MEY is the value of the largest positive difference between total revenue and total cost. The MEY also attained at a lower level of effort than NSY. Open access equilibrium point can be reached when the fishing cost line cross with yield line.
Thank you. So now I will take over the presentation. The topic that I will talk is about the descriptive analysis data. Based on the data, the highest of the total catch that had been recorded is 50,155 metric ton in 1998, and the lowest is 8,008 metric ton in 2021. The second is the effort. The highest of the effort is in 1985, that is 366 metric ton, while 120 metric ton is the lowest effort in 2021. Lastly, the highest average is 8.56 cents in 2017, and the lowest is 96 cents in 1987. All the number of descriptive statistics shows that positive amount, while the modes for the total cash and average price are no answer. This is because there are no the same amount of frequency is in that variable. The most descriptive statistic of effort are 252 metric ton.
My name is Nurhanifa binti Muhammad Ibrahim. My matrix number is S58633. From the equation, we can see that the value of the coefficient, which is beta 0, is -31167.95. If the variables are estimated to be constant, so the total catch is at -31167.95 metric ton. Next, the coefficient value for effort, which is beta 1, is 411.05, which shows a positive relationship between total catch and effort. So, if the total catch increased by 1%, then the increase is affected by an increase in the effort, which is 411.05%. Lastly, the coefficient of effort, which is beta 2, is negative 0.7426. This value shows that there is a negative relationship between effort square and total catch. If there is an increase 1% in the total catch, then the increase is affected by a decrease in the effort square of 0.74%.
Hi, I will introduce about fisheries model. The figures show the fisheries model using trawler of kembang fish in Terengganu. The diagram shows is a combination of maximum sustainability MSY, economic sustainability ESY, and open access OAE. In terms of maximum sustainability MSY, for a fish stock means that the highest maximum equilibrium catch show from 1985 until 2021 maintain the stock at the level that produce maximum growth. ESY as economic sustainability is an optimal in production. Therefore, an open access equilibrium is a condition where there is no limit access of the fisheries to catch a fish and no limit number of vessels allowed operating in the fishery. It is because in open access equilibrium, there's never talk about the maximum profit. As long as the revenue can cover the cost, they will go fishing to get the profit. In fisheries management, the term maximum sustainability MSY refers to the largest number of fish that may be taken from the population over an endless period without the population declining. The goal of MSY is to strike a balance between the demand of the fishing industry and thus of maintaining robust fish population for future generation. A formula based on the model obtained as a result of illegal potential, sustainable fish resources, equilibrium of MSY reach a point for production in MSY status, cash optimal QMSY estimation 56,883.30 metric ton per year. And optimum effort EMSY is 276.7670 trip per year. At MSY, the profit will be zero because the total revenue TR is equal to total cost. Next is about maximum economic yield MEY. MEY is that may be a theoretical collected from a species stock over an intermediate period under the constant environment condition is known as the MSY in population ecology and economy. Typically, it expressed in terms. The size of fish population must be above the level where they can provide the highest sustainable output over an endless period in order to have a profitable and flourishing fishing industry. As we can see the curve of this diagram, we can formulate it from the starting point, which is at 0, showing the kembang fish stock initially moving very fast, until at one point, ESY reached at the maximum 294,004x31.4. At ESY, we can see the fishermen get a high profit due to reaches at optimal condition before it reach the maximum point. So it moved again until reach at the maximum point, which at MSY equal to 56,883.3 metric ton per year. At this point, it reached maximum carrying capacity, also named as a natural equilibrium. Lastly, after reach the maximum profit, we get the OAE point at 549.07. At OAE point, we can see that the profit will be less. Profit will be less because the open access condition. The profit will be zero because they ignore about the maximum profit. They just go for fishing when TR exceed the TC. Fish kembang stock started to slow down, which is diminishing of return. It is because production will not move as quickly as it will initially. After that, it started to decline again, ever fish stock will keep increasing. The process will happen until zero, which is the kembang fish will collapse. In this term, effort level is economically inefficient for harvest the same biomass, typically with much less effort. That is for me. I will pass to the next presenter. Thank you.
From this study, the researcher has used the maximum sustainable yield (YSY), economic sustainable yield (ESY), and open access to study and also the investigated through lengthening the number of lessons travels and the average price of compound fish, and according to results of MSY, it shows that the total catch was 1,145. When the MSY reaching the maximum point, the catches will be decreasing because since overfishing in the oceans beyond what is sustainable, this means that the number of fish removed is more than the level of breeding or population recovery. This causes a decrease in the number of fish species, which can happen quickly, causing the problems in the ecosystem and affecting the stability of the environment. This ultimately affects other ecosystems which with problems such as increased algae growth. Coral health is also disturbed. So overfishing can prevent by limit the amount of catch. To apply it is necessary to consider the amount of inventory or its population and the nature of the community.